Me personally, like I said, nothing touches Avatar. Nothing. Almost choked on my spit. Aang, help me with the water bend. No, I'm kidding.
She wanna swim, hold your breath, we're diving in. She takes talk, they hit her dance. Run my wave, and you bend. No fridge, they're dead. I left her on red, yeah. Louis V back now.
What's good? Dark Knight Gang and this is Stan Gang. Yeah, this is gonna be a cool ass little video. This one right here is from the round table. It's titled Cartoon Network versus Nickelodeon 2020. Hold on, I got a burp. Oh, yeah, man. I'm ready to hop on into this. Who do you guys think is better? Not who. What network you think is better? Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon? Bro, I took some pre-workout and I worked out and that shit got my stomach feeling weird, cuz I'm not used to taking pre-workout and caffeine. I don't like the way caffeine makes me feel. I get very jittery, man. And especially since I do intermittent fasting, I don't eat every day till about 2 to 3 o'clock. So whenever I drink caffeine in the morning or take pre-workouts, since I don't have nothing in my stomach, because I stop eating at 7 p.m. every day and I don't eat again till 2 or 3 p.m. So whenever I drink caffeine or some shit, like right now, I got the fucking jitters, cuz. Like, I'm like, you don't understand. Anyway, I'm ready to hop on into this. We're going to see Cartoon Network versus Nickelodeon. Me personally, when I was a kid, I loved Cartoon Network. Of course, Dexter's Laboratory, nigga. Dexter's Laboratory is one of my favorite cartoons of all time from Cartoon Network, bro. If you've never seen Dexter's Laboratory, you don't know what you're missing. But anyway, when I was a kid, I liked Dexter's Laboratory. But I feel like once you turn like 13, 14, 15, you start going more towards like Nickelodeon, you know, because they have a little bit more like, I don't want to say older shows, but they have the shows like fucking, I don't know, Victoria or something like that. And you see other young kids. And so you kind of watch that more than Cartoon Network. So I really just think it depends on your age. But we're going to see this video. If we just got to compare shows, I'm going to compare them. And we're going to see. Let me know down in the comments who you think is better. We're going to watch this video together. Everybody have a great weekend. Have a great Saturday. Let's go.
Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon. A matchup as classic as Coke and Pepsi, McDonald's and Burger King. Which Spider-Man movie has the best suit? What? It's the second Garfield.
Why he put trash for Burger King? I'm dead.
But that's the only good thing about it. While this debate isn't as heated as it used to be, the beef was off the charts. Back in the day, deciding which of these two channels you favored was like figuring out if you prefer drinking water or breathing oxygen. While Cartoon Network throughout most of its history was solely animated content, Nickelodeon was always a blend of animated series and live action content. But the schedule was typically designed in a way where if you really showed up for one or the other, you knew when to tune in. Alongside these channels often being placed right next to each other on other cable packages, for me personally, Nickelodeon was channel 46 and Cartoon Network was channel 47 growing up on Comcast. It was only natural for these two channels to be compared for both their catalog and aesthetic. For me, this was always interesting because both have a lot to offer.
Samurai
and I feel like I had a lot of favorite shows on both channels, yet I was often drawn to Cartoon Network, and it's only now as an adult that I'm able to recognize why. While a lot of Nickelodeon's animated library was strong in both entertainment and production value, seriously, these shows still look fantastic. They also had a lot of the same elements that, in hindsight, could have been mandated by executives. The characters have to go to school. Even SpongeBob found a way to incorporate this. There's the bully character, the unattainable crush, the attainable non-crush the main character won't notice, the quirky, borderline insane teacher. The list goes on.
Facts,
a lot of these shows also tended to follow a pattern every few episodes. Character abuses the show's gimmick for their own benefit, things backfire as it spins into a bigger conflict, character learns a lesson, maybe sacrifices whatever selfish thing brought them to this point, reinforce the lesson, and on a joke. Now, none of this makes any of these shows bad or weaker than Cartoon Network shows at all. I noticed these patterns.
They all did have that same pattern, you're right.
For a reason. Because I loved watching these shows growing up, and I love watching them now. If anything, Nickelodeon had a certain brand they wanted to uphold, serving to be relatable to kids and teens, with stories and status quos that are designed to be easily relatable and present a moral of sorts by the end of the episode. Compared to Cartoon Network, it's also clear Nickelodeon had more money behind them. They were a bit more Hollywood. They loved to flex their big CGI shots. Every show had at least 2 or 3 big specials throughout its run. They knew how to make things feel larger than life. Meanwhile, Cartoon Network was, and to an extent still continues to be, an underdog. Their roots lying within Hanna-Barbera reruns before producing their first
I never noticed that, bro. I never thought about that. I guess Nickelodeon does have a lot more production put behind it. Like if you think about, look at Flintstones compared to Jimmy Neutron. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It hit Dexter's
thought about
Laboratory, which laid out the
I
blueprint
love
for what
Dexter's
Cartoon Network
Laboratory.
shows could and would be. Unconventional, stylized, cynical, but oddly comforting. Cartoon Network was definitely the black sheep, tapping into more absurd programming that would cause parents to ban TVY7 programming in households across America until their child was anywhere between the ages of 7 and 22. On Cartoon Network, no two shows were alike, and they all seemed to come from a place of wanting to deconstruct the norm. It wasn't always about presenting a lesson at the end of the episode, but instead making the lesson clear through the misfortunes characters can go through. And Ed and Eddie was scamming kids every episode.
I love Ed
But I
and Eddie,
never
man.
wanted to indulge in these scams because the show made it known that one slip up meant your ass was getting beat. That was the thing with Cartoon Network. The lesson wasn't presented cut and dry through moments of clarity and reconciliation. The lesson was presented by watching characters either get the short end of the stick or persevering as they think outside the box to find the solution. Whereas Nickelodeon often expressed, life is what you make it. Work hard, work smart, don't take any shortcuts. Cartoon Network hits you in the face with a similar but overall different vibe. Life isn't fair. If you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
These are the lessons
Not to
you
mention-
took from it, huh? I guess. I never took any lessons from it. I would just watch it as entertainment. You know what I'm
Or
saying?
just had more variety. You could go from the Powerpuff Girls to Courage to Fosters to Johnny Bravo and have wildly different experiences with wildly different characters and stories.
yeah,
Also, thanks to Toonami, the DC
Toonami
animated
was
library,
fire.
and various imports throughout the years, viewers had a blend of comedy and action from all over the world. You walk into Nickelodeon, you getting some good old American barbecue. You walk into Cartoon Network, you got an all-you-can-eat international buffet. You can go from the low-key
shit.
cul-de-sac of
See, but this is biased though. The homie is biased. You feel me?
to the insane bloodlust city of Ennsville with Billy and Mandy,
I like Billy
to
and
the
Mandy.
various sectors of the Kids Next Door, to the
I
kind of
really like
gross
Kids
but
Next Door.
kind of a vibe Camp Kidney with Laszlo and friends. However, just because I mentioned it with Nick, it is worth putting out there that over time, a lot of their mid-2000s programming would lean more into school settings in later seasons. Billy and Mandy and Ed and Eddie namely come to mind. And hell, My Chip Partner is a Monkey Exist. But even then, those shows managed to retain the spirit of Cartoon Network. The school settings were often used as vehicles of storytelling, rather than just in addition to the status quo. For these reasons, and as someone who has always felt like the black sheep of family and social circles, I was more drawn to Cartoon Network, a channel that fully embraced animation, fully embraced the weird and unusual, creating shows that were made for the unusual.
Bro, when you was a
Nickelodeon
kid,
also-
you were not thinking this deep into it. You were just watching it for entertainment. Like, come on.
As a bigger habit of canceling shows prematurely, thanks to execs thinking that shows didn't measure up to the sponge, and although a lot of examples in my head tend to be recent, I definitely recall more Cartoon Network shows having a finite conclusion. Ed and Eddie, Kids Next Door, Fosters, Ben 10, Ben 10 Alien Force, Ben 10 Ultimate Alien, Ben 10 4, The Quest for Peace, Adventure Time, regular shows, Steven Universe, and so on. Nickelodeon finales are, Avatar, Fairly Odd Parents has like 4 finales, but none of them were the actual last
Avatar is better than every Cartoon Network show ever made.
episode. Danny Phantom, but that finale sucked.
I love
Hey
Danny
Arnold,
Phantom.
eventually, you get the idea. It's a lot more rough. Don't
Yeah,
get me
I get what
wrong,
you're saying.
Cartoon Network has
In
canceled
regards to the
plenty
endings.
of shows, but the body count doesn't hold a candle to Nick. Of course, there are other factors beyond the programming that's worth assessing. We can't forget the atmosphere, the branding, the packaging. I'ma keep it real with you, Chief. There is no scenario in aesthetics where I'm not gonna give the W to Cartoon Network. When I was born, Cartoon Network was still in the powerhouse era of their branding. A generally blue motif with tons of animated segments featuring characters from both Cartoon Network Studios proper and Hanna-Barbera, filled with Easter eggs and nods to the proper series that really engaged the audience and felt more involved. Then, after the Powerhouse era, we had the CN City era, which took everything that worked with the previous era and cranked it up by 100, placing all the characters from Cartoon Network, Hanna-Barbera, and Warner Brothers into one gigantic city, mainly comprised of various iconic locations from the shows featured. And this would be the setting of the massive crossover Nexus event on Cartoon Network years later. After CN City, we had the Yes era, which was kinda like CN City, except the city was replaced with a hellish red void at the very edge of existence, driven by 2 breakout characters, Fred Fredburger and Cheese. I use breakout with quotation marks because while I like Fred Fredburger, Cheese kind of overstayed his welcome on the show,
I don't even
so
know
him
this
becoming
show
a mascot
at all.
did nobody any favors. After the Yes era, we had the Nudes era. I still don't know why they named it that, which was fine. While it did incorporate various characters and shows, it felt a lot more uniform.
I definitely wasn't watching Cartoon Network
See in
2008, bro.
Society,
I was fucking
2010 saw the
16.
beginning of the Check It era, which felt more like an identity, but at this point the network was just trying to go for a sleek, modern aesthetic that it never really grew out of looking at bumpers today. But I will say, that brief moment in time where they had reskinned iPhone emojis with Cartoon Network characters, oddly charming. And then there's Nickelodeon. Their bumpers never really came close to anything in quality that rivaled Cartoon Network's packaging in the golden days. If anything, they've always gone for aesthetically pleasing, cool-looking visuals that just happen to feature their characters. But that's because their identity was cemented from what felt like the beginning with three things: the orange splat, the green slime, and that incredible jingle.
Nickelodeon. You'll never forget
I always
that.
found Nickelodeon's aesthetic and branding appealing, even if it didn't excite me like Cartoon Network's. But I can't deny, if there's one thing Nickelodeon's branding always bested Cartoon Network's on, it was the Christmas time bumpers. Even now, they still hit more than Cartoon Network's, but back in the day, when they had claymation and all the characters interacting, shit was iconic. And a feeling of comfiness that
is this
just couldn't be
nerd?
duplicated.
I'm a nerd too, man.
This
This dude is hilarious.
Watching the Nickelodeon characters sing Christmas carols, it doesn't get much better than this. And of course, they both had their own Friday night premiere blocks. Cartoon Fridays, later rebranded to
remember
Cartoon
that.
Network Fridays, and Friday Night Nicktoons, which didn't last as long, but was still there for a few years. And to be frank, these are the same thing. You can even argue that the Cartoon Network Fridays rebrand jacked some of the Friday Night Nicktoons presentation, but it can also be argued that it's simply a natural coincidence due to the inclusion of CN City at the time. Obviously, I'm biased to prefer Cartoon Network, but I really do believe that the perception of which network is better depends on what kind of kid or teen you were.
I think
which
so.
you continue to be to this day.
Yep.
Nickelodeon was for the average kids, or people who want to be an average kid with an average life, but has something that feels alienating that they want to overcome. Cartoon Network was for the oddballs, the weirdos, the black sheep, and as someone who's all of the above, I mean that in the best way possible. But let's not solely focus on the battles of old and look towards the future, as streaming has finally roped in these two animation titans on separate platforms. I feel like both Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon have kind of reached similar points where it feels like nothing is really happening with either brand because they're shifting their focus on streaming content, and their tactics are identical. Still put out new titles, but really lean into capitalizing off existing IP. For Nickelodeon, they have CBS All Access, soon to be rebranded as Paramount Plus, and I think they're kind of being held back by being on this platform. Nickelodeon initially struck a deal to be with Netflix, and I still think we're going to see content make its way there, like the upcoming Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, and maybe even still a Loud House movie. But the other goodie goods, the Nostalgia Bait projects, good luck seeing this anywhere else except behind the Paramount Plus paywall. Low-key, Nickelodeon themselves should have fought for all their digital content to stay on Netflix, whereas Cartoon Network has HBO Max, and they're kind of at an advantage. The just announced movies are coming to HBO Max on day one, same day as theaters, at least for the first month, so that already is going to pull in a buttload of subscriptions. I feel like whatever Cartoon Network has on HBO Max is just going to get a natural boost from there, at least once HBO Max is finally on Roku. But hell, even the representatives kind of said the exact same
buy a
thing.
smart
We
TV?
have new stuff coming, but we're really looking at the moneymakers. To quote the Viacom CBS CEO, in terms of Paramount Plus, we have
Okay, I didn't know he was about to
franchises that we're bringing to Plus.
break it down like
The
this.
Godfather, SpongeBob, the Criminal Minds spinoff. But under the covers, our preview launch show that there's other franchises that work too and have potential. Things like MTV's reality show The Challenge, things like Nick's animated library series Avatar, and all this is really the tip of the iceberg. And we do have other franchises in the company, so you can safely assume that
I want to get on The Challenge one day.
variants of them for Paramount.
Wouldn't that be dope if y'all saw me on MTV's The Challenge? Oh, we gotta make that happen, bro. I would love to be on The Challenge, guys. If you've never watched MTV The Challenge, you don't know what you're missing. I would love to be on there doing challenges and shit. I'm smart. I'm athletic. I'm really good at puzzles. I'm good at math. Ooh, I need to get on The Challenge.
Plus,
I love the
we
party.
of course have some new non-franchise-based originals to keep things fresh.
I gotta
But
reach
I'm not
out.
going
I gotta
down
reach out
that
to
thing
MTV.
and reveal them until we get
I
much
should be on
closer
The
to
Challenge,
launch.
if it's still
For
on.
HBO Max, they have this to say. We want to expand the definition of kids and family offerings under the Cartoon Network pedigree. We are going to be an animated enterprise, but we will not always be cartoons.
I feel like I got fucking
We're trying to
snot
serve the
coming out
kids
my
and family
nose, bro.
audience as widely as possible, so we
And I
can
lost
be a better
the nose
provider to
ring. I don't
HBO
know what
Max.
fucking nose ring
God,
is.
seeing real lives. We have characters that have been been around for decades that people love, and we have people who have a strong point of view on how to modernize them. It's really delightful. Both places want to create new characters and launch new franchises, but know what will really do well for both of them. Nostalgia. Creating new stories with old characters that can appeal to both adults and kids alike. Nickelodeon has already had a head start with the revival films that ended up landing on Netflix after only one premiered on TV. Hey Arnold, the Jungle Movie, Rocko's Modern Life, Static Cling, and Invader Zim, Enter the Forbus. While Hey Arnold
never
was the
watched
only one that
Rocko's
served as an action
Modern Life,
finale,
bro.
all three of these specials were welcomed by fans with open arms and generally well received. Cartoon Network is just now getting on this train with Adventure Time, Distant Lands. Though this has the advantage of being 4 specials under one show. A format that could help them stick out if they apply this to other shows, rather than focusing solely on one revival film. God, imagine the possibilities with both studios and their IP. While more installments of Distant Lands have been teased, depending on their success on HBO Max, and Distant Lands could easily continue to be
Nickelodeon blows
like
Cartoon Network out of the water just because of Avatar, cuz
all shows that would probably do wonders with a simple 44-minute special or a set of specials. On the other hand, Nickelodeon could bust out the obvious new Avatar content.
Exactly.
But maybe give us a reunion fans have been clamoring for, like a new Danny Phantom special. The
I like
internet
Danny
would
Phantom.
lose it. Jimmy Neutron still has a huge online following that would show up for new content.
I used to like it when I was a
don't think anyone
kid.
would be opposed to more Invader Zim either. When it comes to actual reboots, Cartoon Network has a messier track record. Not a single reboot in the last 5 years has the general public embraced. Although, I know the Ben 10 reboot has earned more respect and attention over the years. And of course, both this and Teen Titans Go is massively
I hate
popular
Teen
with
Titans
kids.
Go.
Nickelodeon,
Oh
however,
my
is
god.
new to the
When Teen Titans Go came on, I hated it. I was like, oh my god. Because the original Teen Titans that first came out, it wasn't hardly this cartoony and it used to be kind of dark. Raven was so dark and depressing. I was like, ooh, this bitch crazy.
game. And while Camp Coral will probably still be a hit with the kids, it's the CGI Rugrats reboot that I think will determine how the public will feel about those.
They got a Rugrats
because
reboot?
no matter how you slice it, it's
No,
the
that-
teenagers and adults who are putting
that
money
is
forward for the
nostalgia,
streaming
bro.
services. And there will likely be a bigger need for all of the content, not just the adult-oriented content.
I wonder when they
to
gonna
be
let
appealing to those
SpongeBob
paying
go.
for the service. People in their early 20s like me, or even all the way up to their 30s, would probably be more enticed
I'm
to
in my
pay
late
for the
20s.
service if I'm getting bang for my buck in every aspect. A revival of a cartoon I grew up with would be one of those aspects. As for new content, I just have a feeling that Cartoon Network being on HBO Max may have Nickelodeon and Paramount Plus beat. Of course, it's going to be years before we have a proper discussion about this, but based off what we know is coming, I'm excited for new Nickelodeon shows like Big Nate, but I don't know if it can stand up to the likes of Infinity Train, the upcoming Gendy Tartakovsky project Unicorn,
What was
or
that?
if other new
That looked kinda
Nickelodeon
tight.
shows will captivate consumers over other offerings like Summer Camp Island, Tig and Seek, and The Fungies. However, both Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon are seeing changes in leadership in many different aspects. A lot of people who are at Cartoon Network are leaving to find better opportunities, namely Netflix.
Shout out to the
but one
gang.
prominent player at
I haven't
Cartoon
seen them
Network
niggas
is
in a
now
long
at
time.
Nick. Conrad Montgomery, current series producer on various Cartoon Network shows throughout the last few years, and a huge advocate for shows to get a finite ending. He's the big reason as to why Steven Universe proper and OKKO got to have proper conclusions. So already, that's someone a network like Trigger Happy canceling Nickelodeon needs. Maybe shows will go on for more than just one season now. And it's time at Cartoon Network, working with that brand, and more importantly, the creative minds within the studio, I'm sure he'll bring great
This
ideas
dude
to the
is
table
so
to
hyped for this.
re-innovate Nickelodeon cartoons.
He
without
sound like
losing
me
the
when I'm talking
spirit
about
of
One
Nickelodeon.
Piece. I'm
Cartoon
dead.
Network.
Alright, bro. Good video from the homie. Clearly, the homie is biased. He been said he liked Cartoon Network better, and you could tell every time he was talking about it, he got super hyped. Yeah, Cartoon Network! Ah! This dude hella biased. But me personally, like I said, nothing touches Avatar. Nothing. Almost choked on my spit. Aang, help me with the water bend. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, man, nothing touches Avatar. I'm going Nickelodeon. I don't care about none of that just because Avatar and Korra, nigga. Other than that, I watched cartoons growing up a lot. Of course, I mean, I still watch anime to this day, even though anime I do not count as cartoons because anime isn't cartoons. It's completely different. Completely different vibe. You feel me? But anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. What would you say is better? Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon? What's your favorite show from Cartoon Network? I'm going to have to say either Dexter's Laboratory. I'm going to say, yeah, I can't think of nothing better than Dexter's Laboratory. So I'm going to say Dexter's Laboratory for Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Avatar. Avatar, way better than Dexter's Laboratory. Nickelodeon is better. See y'all next time. Shout out to the gang.